I got a call from the Thalassa. Bo, the captain, was concerned about a vibration that was developing in the propeller shaft. We needed to isolate the cause. Was the propeller damaged or fouled in some way? Are the engine mounts loose? Is the shaft bent? There is a bearing in the middle of the shaft called the mid-shaft bearing, or the Babbitt bearing, that could become worn and unstable. When I saw the photos of the mid-shaft bearing, I knew it was the culprit. The Babbitt lining in the lower half of the bearing had failed and was no longer supporting the shaft. The shaft in the Thalassa is 29 feet long. If it remains unsupported in the middle, it could develop a whirl, which is a resonance that shows up only at certain speeds. It's a self-excited instability that produces vibration. I knew the bearing well, as I had installed it 6 years ago. We had the boat in our shop to lengthen it. We cut the boat in half, then made it 7 feet longer. We call this a stretch job. Fishing was good and the peak of the season was fast approaching. We had to find a quick turnaround. The total length of the boat after the stretch would be 58 feet, which is the legal limit for salmon seiners in Alaska. We call these 58-footers limit seiners.
Feel that? It just jumped up.
We built some trolleys to support the back half of the boat and then pulled it backward.
Only got about 18 more inches of chain. So what do you think? Heavy? Yeah. So either rock or uphill. Yeah, we might be on the rock over there. Woo!
The new shaft, including the Babbitt bearing, will be located underneath this fish hold. We need to visualize a straight line running through the shaft log, across the Babbitt bearing, and onto the transmission. Proper alignment of the bearings and the engine with the shaft is a must.
It's real tight.
Stretch it out to 1/4 inch or something.
Look at it.
Let it stand and then we spring that back in.
Once we had the aft section pulled back, we had to make sure that both sections share the same center line and relative heights. We found alignment of the two boat sections by shooting lasers along the water lines.
It's like a 30-second low.
You can tell anybody?
Seriously, it's like a 30 second.
It's 30 seconds, that means scrap the project. Hey, put it on eBay. Half a boat. Of price.
Yeah, that's impressive. A lot of times you can dig this out just
I'm standing between two halves of the Thalassa, which is a 52-foot salmon seiner out of Kodiak, Alaska. We've cut this boat right in half in the middle. It's called a midship stretch. And we've stretched it out apart 7 feet. And by the time we're done gluing it all back together, she'll be about 58 feet long. Right now the capacity is about 67,000 pounds. And when we're finished, we'll be about 100,000 pounds. Moving back to center. Come on, we gotta try. We gotta hope, right?
Even after we started to mold up the new midsection, we continued to double-check alignment. Our laser line runs from the stern bearing through the shaft log and up to the center of the transmission flange. We have added over 7 feet to a 52-foot vessel and ended up with 58 foot even. You may question our math, but it kind of works like this. We don't really need the pointy end of the boat. If we cut off 16 inches of the bow, we can put that 16 inches into the fish holes in the middle. The Alaska Department of Fish and Game measures a boat not counting the anchor pulpit. So if we snub off the nose, the measurement begins at the flat. If we end up a 1/4 inch longer than 58 foot, the boat would not be permitted to fish. So our math better be spot on. When we were done, we had the troopers measure the boat and document it.
Okay, patent it.
It's time to stress test the stretch. The prevailing opinion around the yard says you should complete your final alignment of the engine to the shaft after the boat has been back in the water and off the blocks, and after it has a chance to settle into its resting position. Then you can make any needed adjustments to the midshaft bearing. I concur that the shape of the boat in the harbor is different than the shape of the boat on the yard, but I contend that the only resting position of the hull is when it's sitting in the harbor. Things are radically different underway. Underway, the shape of the boat is never at rest again. The heave, which is the vertical up and down motion of the ship, is caused by the crests and the troughs of the waves passing under the hull. And then the various loading of the cargo puts all kinds of stress on the hull, and the girders, and the shaft, and the midshaft bearing. The hull shape changes at every wave or loading effect that the boat encounters. It heaves, it bucks, it sways, and it surges. It is important to understand that the deflection of the semi-rigid hull translates into bending stresses on the shaft. I like to see the boat hang from the middle. The Thalassa is now a 58-foot vessel and has 100,000 pounds of capacity. We have divided that capacity into 3 fish holes. Each hole can be tanked and chilled independently. When all 3 tanks are full and pressed hard, there is over a foot of freeboard left over. A fully loaded boat is hard-pressed, like pressing a beach ball under the water. The cargo weight is at the center of the boat, and the forward and aft ends of the boat are very buoyant, producing a static bending pressure.
The aft hole is airtight. This is kind of, we think it's going to be air loose.
Should I start taking down the front tanker?
Yes.
We fill the fish holes with refrigerated seawater. We call it RSW. The refrigeration, the piping, and the pumps all combine to circulate cold water around the fish. The chiller is one of 2 key heat exchangers in the refrigeration system. It takes the heat out of the fish hold water and cools it off. The condenser is the other key heat exchanger. It takes the heat from the fish hold water and dumps it overboard. The water is cold and the fish are fresh. The stress the boat feels translates into forces that pull the shaft off of a straight line. The static stress of the weight of the cargo and the buoyancy of the hull, and the dynamic stresses, especially the bad weather wave profile, heaves the boat into hogging and sagging stresses. And pounding in heavy seas, slamming the boat, all of these are translated into the midshaft bearing. The midshaft bearing loads vary as the boat moves, and the midshaft bearing takes a brunt of it all. It is a wear item, which means that it's meant to be replaced. But I was expecting it to last longer than 5 years. Most new vibrations during the season occur around the stern bearing and the prop. We installed an articulating rudder and a new stern bearing when we stretched the boat, and I was confident they were still in good shape.
Pretty close to what all our tubes go. Take tension off of that.
What?
Let's throw some little bit of soap on that shaft there. And it has to be ultra joy, not regular joy.
Yeah. How much did you say that?
Ultra joy has little tiny little Superman in it.
I need to source a new Babbitt bearing and get down to Kodiak and swap it out. Babbitt was patented in 1839 by Isaac Babbitt. Thanks, Isaac. Babbitt is still an essential component of today's machinery, almost 200 years later. It is an alloy of tin. Babbitt machines like aluminum. But behaves like solder under heat. It's like solder's burly cousin. Sea trials on the newly lengthened limit seiner for the builder means checking the structures and the mechanics of the build. But sea trials for the crew means making a practice set and learning how to load the net on the new deck.
Are you pushing off or?
We need to let Carl get on the boat.
Said, nope, done with this guy. I'm out of here.
The Thalassa was in Ketchmack Bay for the sea trials, and we were heading out to meet it.
Where's my coffee?
I figured you guys would have already loaded up.
No, man.
There is a place out here.
I just found my phone and...
Great morning. Yeah.
What's that green line down there? Oh, that's for him to...
Yeah, he'll tow. I think he'll tow off.
No fish in. Wait, are they supposed to bring fish in? Or are they bringing?
Well, they're gonna wrap that net up close, and at the very end, they'll see if there's some fish. Well, they got to bring the whole net in.
It's gonna take about 20 minutes.
You have to bring the whole net inside. Okay.
Wait, why is that little skiff keeping the boat moving?
That skiff pulls on it and keeps the net away from the boat a little bit.
That little skiff has a huge engine for it. Almost as big as a big boat.
Grandpa, look how tiny the thing is.
It's getting down there, isn't it?
Have they seen any fish yet? Oh, here's that boat squeeze. Hold on tight.
He's trying to get rid of that net. The net's wrapping around him. He's got to pull that away.
Oh, man.
See, now they changed the line.
Look at that, Sark. The rings are popping up. So now this
Now the fish can't swim under. This is all net. The fish can't even swim under the net. I bet they have 5 fish. How many do you bet, Westerly? 8 billion? All right. He's a fisherman.
I bet they have 4 wrecks.
Oh, we gotta check that out, boys. Now,
Shotgun bar. Yeah, okay.
okay, what did they catch? How many fish do you think, Soren?
I think it's 1,000,005.
Westerly says 8 million.
Maybe 10 or 5. So this goes all the way to the bottom now?
No, it's just all hooked up. It's right on the top here.
You think they have them?
I do. I think they have some fish. Saw jumpers. Usually they don't catch any fish on a practice set. comes the fish. What's gonna happen?
They're not trying to catch fish.
They got skunked.
Nothing.
Yeah, there was a flounder and a king salmon.
They got skunked.
Nothing.
Did you see it? Grandpa, didn't you see it?
So it was decided that I would get to the boat and replace a bearing on site. Bo was fishing the north end of the island, so we would meet at the Port Lions Harbor. I had found a new bearing in Homer, where I live, and headed out. Google Maps says it's only a 10-hour drive to Port Lions, but you might get a little wet. I had already missed a ferry, so I would need to fly. Our goal was to change out the old with the new in the evening and get him fishing again by morning. I often feel like I'm flying into the unknown. I know it needs to be done, but can I do it? I had spent a lot of time building that bearing mount. Did I do it right? Would it be a simple swap? Actually, I was more concerned about the bolts that held the bearing. Were they galled and frozen in place? Would I have to cut them? Would I be there all night with my head upside down in the belly of the boat trying to extract frozen bolts? It's not like I haven't done that before, but you kind of end up cobbling things together. Would the boat be stuck in Port Lions long term because I would have to go find a machine shop somewhere on Kodiak Island? And why did the bearing fail anyway? Is there something I was missing? Or is a 5-year replacement an acceptable life for this application? Or am I just an imposter, as my inner critic likes to suggest? It's funny how your thinking blurs, but I have learned you have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. You have to live the tension. In working class France, when an apprentice got hurt or broke something or even just became tired, the experienced workers said, "It is the trade entering his body," as if there is a physical and an internal process of mastering the craft. Mastery goes beyond interest or hobby. You end up being immersed in it. It's like the trade lays claim on you. It's only after you let the trade shape you that you can perhaps shape the trade. Sometimes I think mastery is a hard-won accomplishment. And then, at other times, I think it's all grace. Like a gift that is given to you. The freedom to create is the greatest gift. It is what motivates me and keeps me grateful.
I'll jump down there. You could kind of hand me a few of these things.
Yeah, of course.
I had decided originally that the boat would have only one midshaft bearing, but should it have two?
I did not bring a caliper, but normally I can feel the wear.
There's like the slight,
Yeah.
grooves, very, very slight.
The bearing mount is comprised of stainless steel plates with a small jacking plate in between them. The whole unit is bolted to a fiberglass plate that is bonded to the bilge keel.
Half 13, half-inch course.
The mount was built with 1/2 drilled and tapped holes to receive the 1/2-inch mounting bolts. We ran a tap through the holes, again just to clean them and make sure the threads were not compromised.
I'm starting to get kind of, if it's getting a little bit tight, should I
If it gets
stop?
tight, you gotta reverse it.
Do you want me to keep going further, or?
I do, but if we go back and forth a little bit and just kind of clean it where the stainless can gall together, and then we'll have one bolt that we're stuck, there would be nothing.
What kind of goop do we put on this? Like,
Nickel anti-seize is the best for stainless steel applications. The bearing itself is in two halves. It's called a split bearing for easy removal. And the bearing mount that we built is also removable, so that we can pull the bearing away from the shaft and replace it without removing the shaft.
Okay.
I like the Zebra 5200 here. That's pretty.
I told Bo that's my worst 5200 job ever.
I'm not going to torque anything down yet. In fact, I'm going to loosen this upper half once we get underway.
I'm gonna watch it.
Okay, do it again. Okay, then we can leave it in gear a little bit.
Ideally, the bearing is a couple of thousandths larger than the shaft itself, allowing space for the grease. And ideally, the shaft rides on the grease while underway and not on the dry Babbitt. This works pretty well in calm weather, but as the boat heaves in rough weather, I think the shaft is riding hard alternately on both the top and then the bottom of that bearing. During the break-in, I'm looking for good alignment of the bearing. If the bearing warms up evenly on the forward edge and the aft edge as well as the top and bottom, then it's true. Otherwise, I can make adjustments to the jacking plate. During break-in, I am also looking for shaft whirl. The main function of the midshaft bearing is to mitigate the whirl effect of the shaft. Every shaft will develop whirl at a unique RPM depending on the installation. I want to feel the shaft all along the RPM range. To check for whirl, it would be more pronounced away from the bearing, like near this stuffing box. Whirl shows up at specific RPMs, and when it happens, that speed is called the critical shaft speed. This phenomena occurs because every rotating object, such as a marine propeller shaft, possesses a degree of mass unbalance that causes it to deflect and bow out as it spins. This orbital motion is technically known as whirl. If we were to take this 29-foot shaft and support it at both ends, but not support it in the middle, and begin to spin it at different RPMs, instead of rotating in a stable, fixed position, the center of the shaft begins to orbit, or whirl, away from the center line. It almost looks like a jump rope. And the interesting thing is that the deflection away from the center depends on the speed of the shaft. Once it hits a critical speed, the whirl is extreme. It reaches a resonance. But then after the speed is above the critical speed, the shaft settles down in the deflection. At different speeds, it has different effects. But you would expect it to get worse and worse as it goes faster and faster. In reality, every shaft has a critical speed where the resonance takes over and the deflection is extreme. We call that the critical speed. But what is interesting is that after it reaches the critical speed and goes faster, the deflection goes down until, in this case, at the very high RPM of 600, the deflection is 0.1%. If we were to add a bearing in the middle, then the critical speed changes quite a bit. As the RPM increases, it's in a stable condition until it hits the critical speed. And at that time, it becomes violent. But then it gets back to stable again. What is really interesting is I want to see what is happening inside the midshaft bearing. Here is a cross-section simulation of the shaft inside the Babbitt bearing. It is out of proportion as the grease film between the shaft and the Babbitt is really only a couple thousandths. As the RPMs change, the whirl of the shaft begins to move around within the oil film. Once it hits a critical speed, the shaft may actually contact the Babbitt. If we were to add 2 mid-shaft bearings, things change radically again. Now their critical speed is 1300 RPM, which is way above what the marine shaft will ever see. In this configuration, the shaft is stable through the whole range of 0 to 600 RPM.
No water and no vibration.
Yeah.
While I look for vibrations, Bo is looking for fish.
So Joel was telling me that the dark band you see just right up by the beach, you see a little bit of clear water, and then a dark band that is fish, and they are jumping all through in there. Jump, jump. Jump.
Going back and forth there.
Wow.
Hey!
The bearing appears to be fine, and it's time to let the boat get back to fishing.
Grandpa is a force to be reckoned with.
We might take a couple of fish with us.
You guys have been at it for a while, babe.
Yeah,
You want me to get my bibs on?
sure.
What a question.
Get to work, buddy.
The truck, bud. Got another apron in the truck. Fish cleaning apron. You don't need bibs. Maybe I'll wear an apron because
We've got extra eggs.
More for you. This style is not for everyone.
What?
The flaying this way now.
Why?
This is the Salmon Sisters, because Jim likes to kind of cut down here and then go this, but I find this to be quicker and easier.
Including that. Yeah, we were out here in halibut fishing, and I got a couple of other ones.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
How deep of water? And I said, 186. They go, okay, yeah, that's about right. So they're out there fishing. I said, well, we got it. But, yeah, I went over and I said, hey, do you guys want to fish?
That is cool. Are those orcas? No, so I see white. I guess maybe it's just a reflection or something. Do they? Okay. Badass. Up on the bow, the last night that I drove, just as it was getting dark, they came up. Just a couple of them. There's a lot today.
Yeah, I used to walk up on the bow and just stare down and just watch it.
Man, it is so cool.
Stare down. Just have some fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never realized they have the same coloring as the orcas.
Yeah.